You know, we all want the blessings. We all want the promotion. We all want the promises of God to be fulfilled in our lives. Lord knows I've got so many words from God. But you know, when God wants to promote you and put you in a position, he's got to know that he can trust you. You know, he's got to shape you and mold you and build you so that you can handle the rough storms. Because rest assured, just like the saying goes, when it rains, it pours. And you better believe it's going to rain and it's going to pour. You know, like my situation. So I just dealt with heartbreak and betrayal and heartbreak. Just shocking. Just caught me completely by surprise. You know, a relationship that I was ready to leave 100 times, you know, but like this, and I stayed and I let her be like, she didn't want to let me go, and I stayed. And then come to find out she had a whole nother relationship while you're sitting here begging me don't leave or I'm going to commit suicide. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's how it goes. Yeah, every single challenge is an opportunity. Sorry, I had a thing going on. My dog needed to go out. So I break up with my girlfriend, dealt with the backstabbing, betrayal, all of that. You know, she didn't want to let me go. Every time I tried to leave, she was threatening suicide and started bawling, crying. I love you. I miss you. I want to be with you. I want to marry you. I can't live without you. All of that. And then, you know, come to find out, I'm looking at her phone and she's got pictures with another guy. She even took the time to do an AI rendering of them, like visualizing them together. Something she did to me 1,000 times, but the fact that she did it with him once just tells me where she was going. So I said all that to say, break up the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was in a spiral, you know, of whatever, mistakes or whatever. Thursday came and I began to get zapped again. Zapped by a demonic terrorist who works for a government agency, who's got all the tools and the toys, who has set up a network around my house. I've got the videos. If you look at my other videos, I can't just live a normal life because I've got a psychopath demonic terrorist who's been stalking me for 11 years. This whole building a network around my house, that's only about 5 months old. Didn't used to be that way. It used to be I'd go to work, he'd come in my house, put a chair on top of my table, and you come home and you're like, dude, what the heck, man? You know, you come home, your TV's blaring, and your back door's open. You're like, dude, what the heck, man? So that's where it was. Damaging my property. I go swing my golf clubs on my little golf mat. I come home, my golf mat's burned. Just psycho stuff like that. Then I spent, you know, almost $4,000 on my security system protecting my house. And next thing I know, you know, because it's all monitored and all that. And next thing I know, he sets up a network around my house about 4 or 5 months ago and has been zapping me with RF waves, with microwaves, radio frequency waves. Dude, I mean, the very first time I noticed it, my insides were on fire. I'm pooping blood. My skin's just burning. I'm just like, ah. And so anyway, then I started getting machines to detect it. They're in the other room, machines to detect it, little beep, beep, beep scanners, little things saying, oh, you're being blasted at 500 RF, and dangerous is anything over 20. Anything over 20 is dangerous. Blasting at 500. And when I make a video about it, you know, they'll be blasting me at, let's say, 50, 60, 70. The moment I make a video about it, like in live time, while I'm talking trash to them, go to my videos down there, you'll see it in live time. Anyway, I said all that to say, when it rains, it pours. These are the breeding grounds, the testing grounds to determine, can God trust you up here where the stakes are higher when you can't even handle this low-level resistance? Rest assured, two things for certain. When God starts using you, the devil's going to resist you. If God loves it, Satan hates it. If God blesses it, Satan tries to curse it, right? So if I fumble and stumble and crawl now, what happens? I fail. I fail, right? If I run to women, drugs, alcohol, my friend, doing all types of whatever sin you want to name, whatever sin resonates with you, if I run to that stuff because it gets hard and that's going to make it easier, I run to a relationship. Yesterday, I made my videos talking about how I'm strong and I'm going to turn my pain into progress. And lo and behold, a girl that I hadn't talked to a girl that I used to kind of fool with back 18 years ago hits me up out the blue. She's like, hey. I'm like, hey. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is how the devil works. But I said, before I jump to conclusions, let me just check it out. I'm like, hey. I was like, what's going on? She's like, I forgot what she said. Something like, over the years, I think about you and I miss you so much. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is exactly how the devil works. The moment I got back on my feet, like, yeah, turn my pain into progress, I get hit up with a little temptation. Straight away. If I fall for that little demonic trick, I fail again. You know, the truth is, God showed me yesterday. I had an amazing time with God yesterday. Chance, sit. Just sit. I'll get to you in a second, okay? Thank you, baby. He's a little spoiled. When he wants something, boy, he wants it right now. What was I going to say? Shucks. All right, yeah, I had an ultimate time with the Lord. Oh, yeah, that's why I've got all that going on in this room here and in some of the other rooms. Dude, it's crazy. But yeah, that's why. So anyway, you had an amazing time with the Lord yesterday, and I just realized, you know, for 29 years, you know, I've been stumbling, fumbling, and when times get hard, and it's the reason why God's been telling me what he wants to do in my life for all these years, and I ain't there. I ain't seen the fulfillment. It's like, why, God? Why am I not seeing the fulfillment? And we all do that, right? Because God's telling you where he wants to take you. But when we respond out of the flesh, just like I could have done, could have responded out of the flesh, kind of like what I used to do. After a breakup, after something hard, I would go get something to drink. I would go chase one of my exes or go find a girl or whatever, message with girls. Dude, I'm not doing none of that no more. I know where I want to go. I'm not going to break, bend, or fold because the times get hard. As tough as it is right now, maybe I want to ball up into a little ball and cry. If that's what you need to do, do it. I might hit my face, cry out to the Lord. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you strong. Because as bad as it is right now, as long as I'm relying on God's strength and not my strength, I could take 1,000 times more. As bad as it is right now, as bad as the breakup was, and as bad as this psychopath zapping me with, like, there's 3 or 4 different ways he does it. You know, one goes to my heart palpitations. The other one, you feel like you're on fire. The other one, my machine's going off saying I'm getting blasted with radio frequency waves. That one I don't really feel. That's the same thing as when you're holding your cell phone on mobile data. If you do it on Wi-Fi, my device says it's like minimal. But on mobile data, you're at like 200, anywhere from like 100 to 200 RF. This dude be blasting me at like 500. And, you know, I don't hold my cell phone on mobile data unless I absolutely have to. You know, if you do that, you're asking for it. You know what you're doing. You know, I'm not asking to be blasted with 500 RF. That's a demonic psychopath doing the will of Satan. And what do? I can tell you what I do. I just rely on the Lord God Almighty, who fights my battles for me, who covers me, who protects me. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, life can always get worse. It can always be worse. It can always get worse, but what's your breaking point? Because when you break over these little tiny things, you're not capable of anything. You're like a twig. Snap. You're not capable of promotion. You're not capable of elevation. Why don't I have a husband and children? Dude, you're not capable of it. You can't even go to work and handle your normal life. You want more? Dude, you can't even handle what you got. So that's what I'm doing right now, showing God my capacity, bro. No matter what, you come back to this. You come back to this. No matter what, you come back to him. You hit your knees. You hit your prayer, praise and worship. This is the cycle of an overcomer. Not giving in, breaking, bending, folding. Not running to cigarettes, weed, crack, meth, heroin, alcohol, sex, random relationships, prostitutes, whatever you want to call it. It's all the lust of the flesh. The lust of the flesh are enmity with God. The carnal nature is enmity with God. And the payment for sin is death. The payment for sin, that's sin. The payment for sin is death. Think not a double-minded man and say, oh, here's my problem. The Lord revealed all this yesterday. That's double-mindedness. I had a relationship with God. I would seek God. I'd praise and worship God. Da-da-da-da-da. I mean, dude, I literally thought that I was good with God. Knew I could do a little better, but still had sin in my life. I didn't try to, but my ex, me and her had this like soul tie, man. I mean, we were so sexually attracted to each other. Now, that was 2 years. She did put on a little bit of weight, and there was something, but we still had some whatever. She wasn't fat or obese. And just the point is sexually attracted to each other from the moment we met. I'm having anyway, she was having, I was having, like, both same nights. Like, oh my God, I woke up in the night 3 minutes about you having sex with it. Like, it was demonic, you know? Those are like demonic. Anyway, the point is I still had sin in my life. I'd still go drink with my buddies. Still have a couple drinks at the house. Not all the time. Still have sex once in a while. It was an accident. Sorry, Lord, didn't mean to. See, all of that little compromise stuff, we didn't have it. I'd always tell her, no, we can't have sex. We can't have sex. We can't have sex. But it happened. It would happen. Happened a lot. Not all the time. There was a lot of times where it didn't happen. But anyway, the point is, dude, if you don't stand for something, if you don't set your boundaries, the boundaries will be set for you. Meaning, if your answer is absolutely not, I'm not going to be alone in a room with you, I'm not having sex with you, I'm not going to continue this relationship, I'm not going to have sex with you, so why would I put myself in a room alone with you? No, not going to happen. Bro, look, this relationship ain't going the way that I want it to go. I know it's the way you want it to go, but it's not. Those are boundaries. Dude, don't call me no more. I got my own life to worry about. You're not in it. Bye. Click. That's it. That's a boundary. That's cutting a line in the sand right there. If you're not handling those temptations or those risky areas, if you're not closing open doors like that, those doors will stay open. And open doors is all it takes. All it takes is an open door. My ex had an open door. And the moment things got rough between us, guess what? Satan used that open door to divulge her attention that way. I know she loved me. I know that she didn't like that dude. But under the circumstances, I was a little ticked off that she wasn't spending time with me. She was all at work and nonprofit and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, dude, I see you for like an hour or two a week. This is not a relationship. Like, I'm your last priority. So I was feeling pissy for the past month prior to, and I'm talking to her in a rough way. I went back through the texts and I'm like, ugh. I'm not very proud of how I was talking to her. I kind of pushed her into his arms, right? But instead of her being pushed in his arms, she should have been pushed into my arms. We should have worked it out. That's what a relationship is. But because she had an open door that should have long since been closed, because she had an open door, guess what? Now I will never talk to her again. She will never talk to me again. Now she's stuck with some old fart who's a pervert and been dreaming about banging her for 40 years, 30 years. Old childhood friend. He's 25 years older than her. You know, now she's stuck with him as opposed to me. Her, according to her, her dream man. Da-da-da-da-da. You know, best thing ever. Fell in love. Love at first sight. Oh my God. Blah, blah, blah. Couldn't ask for anything better. And, you know, from my perspective, it was all giving. I wasn't receiving. I was feeling neglected. I was feeling like completely like I'm giving everything to you and I'm not getting anything in return. And I'm trying to address it month after month after month. And it's like, dude. So anyway, it's a blessing for me that our relationship ended. Still love her, still care for her, still pray for her. But it's about open doors. You must close those doors. Solder them. Cut them off and solder them. There is no reattachment, bro. If it's not like that, as long as you leave a pinky toe of the door open, you better believe that slippery, slimy snake will slide his way in. Leave the door cracked that much. Like, instead of doing it the way I did it, you do it kind of nicely. Hey, I think I'm just busy. Instead of saying, piss off, buddy, you just say, hey, I'm a little busy here. I'm a little busy there when he calls and da-da-da. You're still leaving the door open. Hey, look, man, this relationship is not what I'm looking for. I got my own things to worry about. Please stop calling me. It might be hard for some of y'all women. Might be hard for some people. But when you do that, you will gain armor and strength that you've never had before. That's what I was saying in one of my other videos, is like, you've got to build that fortitude. A lot of you don't have it. You're so weak or so sheepish. You don't know how to set boundaries. You don't know how to say no. You're never going to until you start doing it. You know, anyway, look, point is, when the winds blow, when the trials come, just like Jesus in the boat, they thought they was going to die. They were panicking, anxiety, fear. And Jesus said, peace, be still. Everything back to normal. It's all good. And so that's all I'm saying is, when the trials come, when the tough times come, don't lose focus. Like I said, you want to hit the ground, you want to pray out to the Lord, no problem. There's no problem with that. Do it. You want to cry? No problem. But stay on track. Don't bend, don't break. Still do the right thing at all times. It might hurt. You might be lonely. Whatever. It might be overwhelming. You seek the Lord, pray to him, and keep doing the right thing no matter what. That's all I got to say. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Nothing's going to make me fold. I'm walking with Jesus, bro. I'm walking with Jesus. There's no turning back. There's no compromise. Any open door is getting slammed shut. I don't care if it sounds rude. I don't care if it hurts your feelings. Bruh, beat it. Beat it. This door's shut. I'm seeking the Lord. I'm doing it his way. He'll direct my path. He'll open the doors. He's going to give me what I want. But I got to show him that I can handle life and stay with him and not compromise and not go to drinking and these relationships. That I stay with him no matter what. Trust me, listen to this again, take notes, rewrite this down. This would have saved me 29 years had I known this. All right, that's all I got. God bless.